This is a special report from ABC News Digital.
Crumbling glaciers and melting ice. The acclaimed documentary, Chasing Ice, focuses on a 5-year time-lapse of receding glaciers in the Arctic. And now the photographer behind it all is heading to the South Pole to record the changes in Antarctica. Hey everyone, I'm Dan Kleffler in New York with this ABC News Digital special report. It is round 2 of a dangerous adventure to record and display the melting ice caps at our poles. James Baylog is the nature photographer who, with his small team, captured the melting ice in the Arctic and showed to the world how climate change was affecting the North Pole. And now, with the help of National Geographic, he is in the process of installing cameras in Antarctica, kicking off another 5-year time-lapse. We're joined now from South Georgia Island near the Antarctic by the photographer himself, James Baylog. James, thanks for being with us today. So, you have installed 2 cameras so far, and you still have more to go.
We've installed 7 cameras now on the Antarctic Peninsula, and we just installed 2 yesterday on South Georgia, and we have 2 more to go here on South Georgia.
So has it been harder or easier to install these cameras in Antarctica than it has been in the Arctic?
It's been about the same. It's had the similar kinds of challenges. We had some vicious hurricane-grade weather yesterday when we were installing cameras, but you know, we've learned to adapt to it and make it work regardless.
So from what you've experienced, are the glaciers receding faster at the South Pole than the North?
I think we need to be careful not to talk about the South Pole. The South Pole is way deep in Antarctica. That's not where we've been, and it is quite cold down there, and there's nothing happening with the ice down that deep. But down in the outer reaches of Antarctica, that is the Antarctic Peninsula and the sub-Antarctic region called South Georgia, the glaciers are receding here about as fast as they are in some of the hot spots up north. So what we're getting a chance to do here is to create parallel documents, visual documents that speak to the changes in northern hemisphere as well as comparable southern hemisphere environments.
How has this work changed your idea about climate change and the thought of that it was man-made after going from the Arctic now to the Antarctic?
This work with changing icy environments has made me realize that climate change is real. It's the place where you can see and touch and hear and feel climate change in action. It's not something for the future. It's not imaginary. It's not something that people will deal with in the 22nd century. It's happening right now. It's right here all around us.
Logistically, how do you pull something like this off? Cameras, making sure that batteries stay fresh, making sure that memory cards still have enough space on them when you're working in these kinds of extreme conditions?
Yeah, it's the technical process we go through is pretty complicated. We've had a lot of trial and error over the years. You know, we're on year number 8 right now, and we've gotten these systems pretty well shaken down. These time-lapse cameras live out there in these harsh conditions. There are little surrogate eyes when we're not there. I think of them as my little R2-D2 robots, and they're surviving 100-mile-an-hour plus winds, temperatures down to who knows what, 30, 40, 50 below, torrential rain, deep snowfall, and they do keep working. Sometimes they fail, sometimes the batteries freeze up and electrons don't move anymore, but for the most part these things come alive after the temperatures ease off a little bit and they start to collect solar energy. Basically the power for these units is coming from the sun, which is kind of a pleasant idea to realize that all that energy is up there in the sky and all we have to do is put up our little solar panel arms and collect it, and it feeds our instruments.
Not adding to some of the causes of climate change from the efforts right there. You are obviously the face of this kind of effort, but you're not the only one. You have a team that's working alongside of you.
Yeah, there's 4 of us down here together, plus quite a few people on the ship, part of the crew of the ship, helping to make this work happen. We also have a big team back home in Colorado and a whole team of scientists who are partners in this effort around the world. So, you know, I'm the face of this initiative, but no, this is quite a big group effort. And I should emphasize that our photographic work is built on a context of scientific information and understanding that's been accumulated by thousands of people around the world, men and women both, working in these various sectors of climate change, ice science, polar science, for many, many decades. This is not, you know, a new invention, and we're not the inventors of it by any means. We all have a voice in this, and that's what makes it so potent and so powerful. But also, what makes it so annoying when people think that climate change is not happening, because, you know, there's too much information, too many well-intentioned, smart people who have been out here studying it for it to not be real. It's absolutely happening.
And when do you hope?
It's a question of looking at the evidence and the information and not being hung up on belief systems and doctrine and ideology, but really looking at the evidence. And that's what we're doing. We're witnessing the evidence with these cameras.
And when do you hope to complete this project?
We don't know if this project will ever be finished, actually. When I started it, I thought it would be a 3-year project, and it would have been done in 2009, and here we are many years later. Now we're just starting the Southern Hemisphere, so, you know, it's kind of open-ended. We're down here for at least 5 years. It may be 10, who knows?
Now, we
maybe
saw...
20, maybe 30, maybe my children's children will still be doing this long after I'm gone.
Now, we saw in the Chasing Ice documentary that the project took a serious toll on your body. With that in mind, are you still gung-ho on this expedition?
Yeah, well, in the film, in Chasing Ice, you saw me with a very damaged knee, which has since been replaced with titanium, courtesy of the miracle of modern medicine. And, you know, I'm not as spry as I was 30 years ago, but I still get around okay. I get things done. So life goes on. Yeah, this is not an easy environment either, but we're doing what needs to be done.
And we should be expecting another very visually stunning documentary from this project 5 years from now?
Yeah, I think so. We've actually been shooting some quite serious video down here and putting some effort into it. It's, you know, I hate to use the word FILM right now, but I think something is emerging, and we'll see what comes out of it in due course. It won't just be about ice, it will be about many other subjects of human-caused environmental systemic change. But stand by. Give us about 3 years and I think we'll have something.
We will certainly be looking forward to that. Nature photographer and extreme adventurer James Baylock in South Georgia Island near Antarctica. James, thank you, and obviously continued success and good luck to you and your team down there. And of course, you can get a complete recap right here on abcnews.com of that adventure. For now, I'm Dan Kleffler in New York with this ABC News Digital Special Report.